Divine Travel is being solved right now. While I'm streaming, Divine Travel is being solved. I'm not gonna show any of it on stream, but we're gonna use fossils in Soul Sand Valleys. So fossils in Soul Sand Valleys, if they're at 0-0, there's a 1 in 4 chance for a fossil to be at 0-0. And then based on the configuration and the direction of it, apparently the furthest blind we're gonna get is 700 blocks. 700 blocks is gonna be the absolute worst blind you can get. That's gonna be the absolute worst. Jojo, Closet Witch, and Matthew are working on it right now. You're done? It's a small conversation for it to be done. Whole table and a data pack. Optimal blind coords. Holy shit. Alright, I'm gonna leak it. Leaked! Where is it? This is our new Bible. Dude, it's for the 3 different strongholds as well. Why does it go to 15, Closet Witch? Left side is X quad, right is the blind? Wait, what? Left side is the X quad. Oh, right. Where the fossil starts. Doesn't matter what type of fossil it is. Or no, it does. Oh right, because of different places where they start. No way. Yeah, which one do I download? What do I download, Closet Witch? Top one or the bottom one? Did it to themselves. Generator.zip. Divine Travel. Into folder of your world. Do I need to have a world that has Soul Sand Valley at 0-0? No way. No way, man. Positive Z. Oh, you need to be up. It's unlucky. Oh, chunk is 15. Where's 0? Oh no, I'm in 0. Is that it? There's no way that's it. Oh, there it is. Where's the fossil? Did I get RNG'd? I got RNG'd on. Fossil here prob tried to be placed in the cave, yeah. Divine travel. I need to go positive Z. This is kind of hard to find. I'd like to assume that the X is... Where's my block coordinates? Block 4-2. Bro, what the fuck is that? So is the X is 4, right? So the X is 4, we look at the table. We've got a number of strongholds to choose from. If we look at it, well, our coordinates are 0, 0. So let's look for a bastion, why not? There's one over there. Oh, we'll look for a fortress. Let's find a fortress. Okay, fortress. Sure, let's go here. Now X was 4. So we look at our coordinates, which are negative 160, 80. Negative 160, 80. Oh, the third one. Oh no, we need a high negative X. So probably the second one. So negative 192, negative 169. That's pretty far, but that means the blind here is really bad. Which is good, because we're meant to solve blind. It means we're solving blind right now. So we're gonna go to negative 169. And it's gonna be a real hassle. But we're gonna go to negative 169 on the Z and negative 192. Get obsidian, flint and steel. Where's block? Negative 100. Wait. 4, negative 192. Which is over here. Negative 192. Negative 169. I'm losing the... Yeah, there it is. Alright. Wow. What happens if we blind at the fortress? Where was our fortress? Because this was good blind, right? This would be like, you'd be like, yeah, I'd blind here. Yeah, you'd blind here. $1,500. Oh my god, Be Right Back's on screen. Why aren't you guys shouting about it? So at the fortress it was 1,500. But at the Divine Travel coordinates, it was only 500. We made it. SAR's doing it. Matthew probably did most of the work. Matthew, do you have any other credits for anyone? Other than me being on your tail about it for weeks, if not months at this point. It is reverse engineering the seed, that is what we're doing. Reverse engineering the seed without reverse engineering the seed. What the fossil types are. Alright. Chunk, need to go negative Z1. There we go. Was that a... Is that the same one? Same chunk? Looks like this is the same chunk, but it extends outwards. We have to learn what fossils look like now, which is what Closet Witch has already done. Closet Witch has solved fossils. Is this X13? Do you think it's X13? You think so? Alright, so let's look at the table. X13, actually we'll look at a fortress. Can we find a fortress? Fortunately not. We've got 120 versus 150. The bastion over there. Fortress. Oh, there's two fortresses. We'll pretend we went to this one, yeah? This one's easy to get to. Let's not pretend too hard. Alright, spawners. This makes Fortress First a lot worse. Alright, we're at 100 and... We've got a high X. We've got a high positive X. What was the X? Fuck, what was the X? Does anyone remember what the X was? 13? 15? 13? Was it 13? 13, alright. X was 13. We've got a high X and the X was 13. I think we should probably... We can either go to 142, negative 213, or 113, 230. We're closer to positive. So we'll go to 113, 230. First, what we'll do is check what the blind here was going to be. What do you think the blind was going to be here? Blind here is 1218. It's alright, you know. But if we look at our table, X13, we're going to go to 113, 230. Oh, that's hard to get to. Maybe we'll go... Yeah, we'll go negative Z. Negative Z looks good. 142, negative 213. 142, negative 213. 142. I'm not looking at targeted block? It was 15x? Dude, I swear to God I was looking at targeted block. Where's our spawn? Oh, there's a fucking bastion. Where's spawn? Oh, what the fuck? Where's targeted block then? Where is it? Oh, it's over there. It was covered by the fucking timers. I really tried to find it as well. Alright. Now, I need to have my timers not obscure targeted block. That's a pain in the ass. X is 15. Alright, X is 15. Let's go back to the fortress. Here's the spawner. X is 15. We've got a high X. So we go 251, negative 50. 251, negative 50. 251. Facing 251. Negative 50. Alright. $251, negative 50. It's gonna be 344. I'll change the title. What's up, D-Max? You thought the game was broken enough? Divine Travel. Divine Travel. So everyone in chat who's been here a while has been hearing me talk about Divine Travel for a while. Copy pasta 15. Change my table to increase the chance of ridiculously good blind. It's probably worth it. Ending up in the stronghold would be absolutely hilarious, Matthew. Alright. We're at negatives. We go positive. There we go. This is hard. 3G. We're in 0-0. I'm winging these. I'm absolutely winging these. Where do they point? You'll have to make a video on it, Closet Witch, or Matthew. I guess the Closet Witch should do it because it's her thing. The fossils. How they sit. Nah, you need to make a video on it, but where does this point? Like... Do they always point a certain way? Is there an easy way, or do you actually have to memorize 16 fossils? Or 12 fossils, or whatever? See the tall one? Really, the tall one? Methods you can use? It's usually the tall one, but not always. Alright. Usually the tall one. So we've got 6. So 6. Yeah. Dude, the game is so fucked. We've got a decently high negative X. 6, decently high negative X. We'll go negative 213, 142. Negative 213, negative 142. Negative 213, 142. Give a set block here. Don't need to build a portal to roleplay. Dude, please. Oh, was it? I did negative 142, right? Wait, yeah, positive. Oh, I did it wrong. 6. It's meant to be positive. I did negative. Alright, pretend this didn't happen. You're meant to do positive. 142. Meant to do positive. Negative 213. Alright, we can roleplay. Flint. Negative 213, 142. Negative 213, 142. Damn, I was hoping for it to be Ocean Exposed too. That'd be so funny. 517. What was the maximum, Matthew? 700? 700 is the maximum distance that blind is going to be. 788. Maximum. No more 2,000 blinds. As long as you've got a Soul Sand Valley, most of the time less than 400. As long as you've got a Soul Sand Valley with a fossil at 0, you'll never get over 788 blind. No more 2Ks. Yeah, Matthew. Matthew, make a video right now on it. We're getting a call. Steal your clout. No, you and Layla need to do it. Call? Alright, we'll do a call then. Does someone have Davy's seed from earlier? We need Davy's seed right now. I launched it earlier, but I deleted it. Yeah, the sub 8 blind. It was a Soul Sand Valley spawn. I'm looking for it right now. Maybe someone's gonna be able to find it faster than me. Yeah, I'm a robot. What are you gonna do about it? Twitch fucks me. Alright, someone has to get the seed. It'll be at the end of Davy's last stream. At the end of Davy's last stream should be the thing. Dude, that's so funny. Divination is done with bones. That is so funny. Anyone have the seed yet? It's at the end of Davey's stream. Davey's most recent stream, it's at the end of it. He didn't put it anywhere, I don't think. Oh, there it is. Dude, can you imagine if we found something that would have given him a sub 12? Imagine if he lost a sub 12 because he got this seed today instead of tomorrow. He didn't finish. Positive, positive. Oh, it's one chunk off. Dude, I so thought that that was it. And that he lost sub 12 to 1 day. But he's lucky. The chunk is 0-0. 2 chunks away from a sub 12 divine travel run. This is his seed. Look at this. He spawned here. And you can see the fortress. He got sub 8 blind. Well, this one, the Soul Sand's not in 0-0. First of all. Yeah, we just... You're late. Yeah. Oh, we can call. Yeah. Where is it? Where is the person? There it is. Dude, what if my shit's like... robot? Alright, block your ears, Matthew, because it could be Discord fucks you. Or me. Testing. Alright, Discord maybe not fucking me. The Matthew Bolan.
Hello.
The one and
All
only.
right. Oh, gotta mute you on stream. Okay. Yeah. So I did it. I did what you asked me to.
We finally looked at it.
Yeah. This is actually probably not the end. Like I showed you. Anyway. No need to get into that. But like, there are other things which are like this, but are worse.
Yeah.
But like you can. You're not strictly limited to high rolling these bones. I just need to. I've got like a list of things which we have to look at besides the fossils, but the fossils are really good, in my opinion. Yeah.
Earlier on, chat, when Matthew started looking at it, it was ruined portals and big ones, big ruined portals, and it not only got the angle but the distance as well, right?
Yeah, big ruined portals, you should be able to always blind under 100 blocks ish.
Yeah.
If you've got a big ruined portal at 0-0. The thing is that a big ruined portal.
Both dimensions, right? Maybe.
Yeah. In fact, it's more common in the Nether. In the overworld, it's like 1 in 12,000 something. In the Nether, it's like 1 in like a few thousand to have. And actually, the big's not a requirement. It's just that if you only have a small portal, it only tells you the distance. But if you have a small portal at 0-0, you still have pretty good information about the distance.
Distance is not that great.
It's not the most useful
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. There's a reason why I've always focused on angle. But hey.
Yeah, I'm loading up more seeds in the meantime.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking how it's done. I'll
Yeah.
probably upload this as a VOD. It'll just be this happened, and there'll be big bright text that says go click on Matthew Boland's video or go click on Closet Witch's video. This is just going to be like I'm going to upload parts of this VOD right now, just as this has happened. It's the thing that I've been talking about. Go find out about it. It's real because I think I've got a lot of attention on my YouTube.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, my YouTube's a little bit dead. What was I doing? Right. Yeah. So, do you want me to quickly explain like why this works?
Yeah.
It's actually pretty simple, honestly. Okay. So the rough point is that both the stronghold's angle and these bone blocks, they have an internal number which tells them how to behave. Right. For the stronghold, that number is turned into an angle, and that directs where the stronghold goes. And for the bone blocks, another number tells them their x coordinate, right? But it's the same sort of deal. Like stronghold, like if your stronghold angle is between 0 and 1/16th, you're going to be in the first 1/6. You're going to be in the first sector corresponding to 1/16th of the circle, if that makes sense, right? If it's between 1/16th and 2/16th, you're going to be in the second sector. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But and with the bone blocks, the same sort of thing. The size of the number corresponds with the location of the bone blocks, right? So if the number's between 0 and 1/16th, you've got a bone block with x coordinate 0. If you got it between 1/16th and 2/16th, that's x coordinate at 1. And so that's the correspondence, right? They're talking about the same exact underlying number. And the surprising thing, though, is that these two things would be using the same number at all. And the reason why is that at 0, 0, the formula that Mojang uses to try and randomize stuff breaks. So strongholds use the raw world seed to do a lot of their randomness, and everything else is not really supposed to. Everything else is supposed to like put it through some mixing up stuff. But at 0, 0, a lot of that mixing up stuff breaks entirely. So if you have a nether fossil at 0, 0, the formula collapses and all it does is output world seed. And that's why 0, 0 is special. That's unfortunately why this is probably never going to work at other coordinates. You need that formula to break down in that way. But then the ultimate result is fossils at 0, 0 are seeded with the raw world seed, which they're never supposed to be. And the stronghold is seeded with raw world seed. And it just so happens that the coordinates of the bone blocks tell us exactly about the number used to determine the angle of the stronghold. And there's a lot of things which are very close to working like this, but this is the first one that we found that actually does work like this, besides the ruined portal thing. Anything else important? Oh yeah, and also bone blocks are the nether fossils are structures, which is really nice because of the way that structure regions work. I actually misread this initially, but the way that structure regions work, you always have a bone block. You always have a bone. Like their regions are tiny. They're a 1x1 chunk region in a 2x2. So they've sort of what's the name for that tiling? I don't know.
I'm not good with all the terms of all that.
In any case, the game tries to put a fossil on all the even chunks. So at 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 4, and that's it. There's no real randomization in the chunks. It tries to place stuff down because bone blocks are a structure. So if you have a decently flat Soul Sand Valley, the bone block's going to find something to latch onto, and it's going to go there. And yeah. Oh, and also technically it can try and spawn the bone block too low. It picks a random spot somewhere in the nether, and then it iterates downwards looking for soul sand to land on. Most of the time it's going to find that soul sand. But sometimes if it starts really low, just a few blocks above the lava lake, then you got unlucky. So that sort of sucks. but even still, like just in my own experience, like I was playing a bunch of seeds, and it seems to be about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 that it actually occurs on a Soul Sand Valley seed. Probably a bit more than that. I'm pessimistic, but yeah, maybe let's say. And so Soul Sand Valleys at 0, 0 represent about 17% of seeds. So let's say that if it happens in like, yeah. Oh, you really should have one here.
Yeah,
That's annoying.
RNG'd one, which is
yeah, you just got robbed. I think it must have tried to. It either tried to spawn on the Basalt Delta or tried to spawn really low down and then didn't find something to latch onto. Oh, was that Chunk 10? Chad is mocking you.
Oh, really?
Your chat is very rude.
How rude of
Anyway.
Yeah, so another thing that people might recognize is the pumpkin triangulation meme. It's the same thing, just a different thing that we're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, pumpkins are a lot worse because well, they've got the same problem of the big portals, is that the thing that gives you information isn't a coordinate. It's not something that's like varying continuously. It's a Boolean. It's like, is the thing there or not? And so if you have an extremely rare thing, I mean, that's great, because if you have it, then you know a lot of information about the stronghold. But if you don't have it, well, then sucks to be you. Whereas this is so nice. I like jumped out of my seat when I saw that this was coordinates and I'd missed it the whole time.
Yeah, you'd say this is 12, right? This is
judging I think
on
so.
Rule of the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah, it tends to be the biggest one. That's the other thing, by the way, is that it's not a big deal if you miss by 1 block.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's like a continuous parameter, right? If you're off by 1, it only means that you're off by 1 of these 1/16ths of a circle. So there's some leeway. And yeah, and the other thing is that I set up the blind travel coords that you're reading off right now to launch you like sort of into the middle of the stronghold ring. That's probably incorrect, especially for world record runners. So you might want to like move them in like, I don't know, 20 blocks closer to the origin. 30. Is 20 correct? 20 might be correct. I don't know. Something like that. But that's if you want the high roll.
Yeah, because there's some kind of tendency for the stronghold to be closer to the start of the ring because of angles or something.
Mm-hmm.
High negative x. Oh yeah, so -242, 82. -242, 82. -242, 82. This is a great example of, like, the other portals that I was making were kind of in strange positions, but this one's inside the fortress.
Yeah. Again, I need to find a better way to make that table. When you look at what the table's actually doing, there's a simple pattern to it. So like, I don't even think you need the table necessarily. I think you can just learn where to go. But the table's good for now. 389, that's okay.
Yeah, that's world record with a sub 10 blind.
Yeah. Crazy. And then we also got really lucky in that you can always tell the coordinates where fossils start. Turns out they're all structure blocks like ruined portals. So but yeah, you're gonna have this be a viable strategy somewhere between 1 in 15 to 1 in 20 seeds, from what my seed finder was saying. My seed finder doesn't have a terrain sim, so I'm adding on to that um, an an estimate of how often I think the fossil that's supposed to show up actually does. Um, I don't know if I'm being pessimistic or not, but like this is going to happen on runs. You're going to encounter a fossil like this,
Yeah.
like on a few runs. So I'm quite pleased. Um,
You said 1 in 20, yeah?
yeah, 1 in 20, I think, and that's including the chance for the Soul Sand Valley. You can, if you don't see a Soul Sand Valley, don't even bother checking, right?
Because 1 in
So
20 was kind of our number for um, random blind 300 distance. But this one you can be more sure about, you know. I mean, you could just get lucky and get the blind, or you could have it like off spawn because it's not it's front loaded RNG versus back loaded RNG,
right. I mean,
which is a big diff as well.
I don't think you reset for this at any point,
Right.
but but if you see you're in a Soul Sand Valley, your chords are low, it's flat. Look at the bones, man. Um, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm pleased with this.
Yeah, is it worth? It's it's probably not worth simulating the exact coordinate that's the best because the exact coordinate would be 1500 or something, right? If we're trying to spawn inside the stronghold, wouldn't it be like 1500 or 1400?
You'd still go to a lot closer to the origin if you're trying to spawn inside the thing.
So you go 1400 or
You'd go 1400 plus 112.
what's 112? Is that the average stronghold area or?
That's the amount that the stronghold jumps by. So you know how the stronghold jumps to a biome. So the,
Yeah,
the game
I
play,
wasn't familiar that it would always do
it,
that.
it always jumps. It always jumps. Yeah, I actually really hate the pushed terminology that I hear people use to say that it's like gets pushed to an island or whatever. No, it just it iterates through all the good biomes in the area and it goes to one of them. Always. The only time it ever like defaults to the start position is if it finds no good biomes, or you could get lucky and it hits the actual start position. I mean, I'm being a little bit pedantic, but I've seen a few confusions arise from that.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I'd heard that because I mean Abdron's run was denied, but Abdron had a stronghold, or you don't like the word, but a stronghold snap, even though the biomes were fine, and it was very confusing for everyone, because there was no ocean around, but it still snapped. And I remember hearing that you said to someone, as as is the typical way that information gets around, is someone smart says something and then that gets dripped down a few through a few people, uh, but that it snaps regardless, or that it snapped regardless. But that was the last that I'd heard of it. That
yeah,
um,
yeah, it does always move.
right, because recently the wiki has the stronghold rings are now 1408 minus 19 times 16. Um, which was kind of strange to me because I was like, well, the ring actually is at 1408, but technically the stronghold has a decent chance of being at 1200. Right.
Yeah, it's diminishing returns though, of course, because you
Right.
need to not only have your stronghold be as close as possible, but you need it to choose to jump inwards.
Yeah.
Um, which is why the optimal if you're trying to get in the thing, the optimal distance is um, that many in, so that like as many strongholds can jump to you as possible, and so that your angle can be as wrong as possible, and still like get a lot of strongholds in, right? Because strongholds aren't they're not uniform in the ring. They get sort of because they choose a random angle and a random distance, and random angles have bigger effects further from the origin,
Right.
right? but you know that.
If we test it here, so what was it? You said it was 1408 plus 112. So
Yeah,
1520.
so what'll that be?
1520 is where we're trying to end up in that world.
Yeah, and then you want to divide that by 8, of course, which is not something that I can do in my head at this hour. 190.
I'm just putting it into Desmos.
So you want to go. God, I had to do this before my big test, though. This is going to give me insomnia. I mean, it already has. This is 4 in the morning for me. I'm having to whisper because I'm keeping my parents up.
I think this is good. I'm going to go to 17965.
And again, this is riskier. This is going for a high roll.
Right.
Yeah. Like you're gonna end up with a few 1,000 blinds, like building here. But your good blinds will be better, and you're still gonna get like, I don't know what your tolerance is. I guess it depends on the run. But yeah.
$125.
That's a nice number.
It's a decent blind.
Yeah.
People, so subbed 5 months. Yeah, this is out of it. It'll take a lot of learning. Closet Witch, are you still here? Do you want to jump in the call as well? Closet Witch will hopefully be making a video on exclusively the fossils, what they are, where they start. Matthew seems to be doing the back end of it, why it works, and the stream and this VOD will be stupid, what do you call it? Reporter, media advisor, or what is it? I'm just reporting that on the news. Yeah, the Forsen reference. Are you familiar with Forsen's relation to fossils, Matthew?
Mm-hmm. No.
Very early on in his speedrunning career, Forsen spent. No, he's still trying to beat the game actually. But he spent something like 30 minutes in a Soul Sand Valley running around the fossils, thinking that they were portals. And chat was like joining in and saying that they were Aether portals, and he was running through them, trying to find out how to light them and everything. So Forsen was always right. It was always the fossils that led us to the Aether.
That's utterly hilarious to me. But if another one of my strats gets named after Forsen, I'm going to cry.
Forsen's law. Forsen's second law. That's great. All right. Am I friends with? Was it Witch? I'd assume so. I'm gonna add her to the call somehow. Ah, we're not even friends. I sent you a friend request so that I can add someone else to the call. Because apparently that's
accepted.
Locked by Discord. Closet Witch.
Hello?
The second most important person of the day. Fossil Meister.
Am I like here?
You
Okay,
are here.
so Jesus Christ. So generally it's the tallest one, but there's a few exceptions. Can you find a Silsand Valley for me? So we can just like fly around.
Yeah, we can just check out any old fossil, really, right? Maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at that one, it's the tallest one on that one. So right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
can I see your screen? Because like the stream's like behind a bit.
I'll see what happens. I think if downloading a text file turned my microphone into a robot, then I bet sharing my screen on Discord will probably do something horrific, but we'll give it a go anyway.
That's fair.
Alright, 15 FPS. I'm feeling generous.
Alright, so that one. For the rib cages, generally it's the front left looking from like smallest to largest. So if you look to the right, like look in the direction they get bigger in.
Oh, it's difficult. Say again.
So you see that?
Which one?
So look in the direction that they get bigger in.
Like this.
Yep. So usually it's the furthest forward and left.
Furthest forward and
Yep.
left. Is it just this one? Is the biggest one again?
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
a few fossils where it's not the biggest one. So with the rib cages, you generally do that.
So is this the
For-
biggest
Can we maybe just get on the structure blocks so we can just load in all 14?
True. I did
Yeah.
download that.
Let me. Can just like open a structure block. Get a structure block in your inventory. You gotta use a git command. Okay, you see the thing I put in the chat there? Not in like chat, but like. And then you want to do load. So you gotta click data twice, like data, then the save. There you go. Type in the name, and then put in the number. It's 1 through 14, and then hit load on the right, and then hit it again.
Load on the right and then
Hit it again.
like this. Oh.
Yep. Okay, so for this one, it's always the block that's above the structure block when you load them like this.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So they can be rotated, but they can't be mirrored. So you just have to like rotate yourself to it. Does that make sense? But they're never going to be mirrored, so you don't have to worry about that.
But it's always going to be the same part of the fossil that is the start, right?
Mhm.
We're not going to have to look for
Yeah.
different. We're never going to have to look over
Yeah.
there.
So if you go to fossil 11, so you notice how it's symmetrical. It's always going to be the one on the right there because it's never going to mirror.
Right. Right. God.
Number 2 is also really weird.
Oh, it keeps the old ones. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so like this one is like a T and an F overlaid. So it's just like the bottom of the F, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not that hard for this one. It seems, there's a square here. You can kind of tell, even without even thinking about it, it's like it would start here.
Yeah, you just need to learn like these few weird ones.
Let me get some other weird ones. Number 10 and number 8 are weird.
Oh,
okay,
God.
so if it's a single like rib and it sticks out 2, then it's under the tip.
What was the other one you said?
10.
I'll quickly mention when I was first testing this out, those single rib ones, sometimes you don't even need to think about it because it's just oriented so that there's only one X it could possibly be, because it's 3 wide in one axis and 1 wide in the other. And you don't need the Z coordinate.
Number 6 is also weird.
Is there any confusion here? This seems pretty easy, doesn't it? What did you say was the problem? How did they change their looks?
They just rotate.
Rotate, right. Yeah,
So they never mirror.
Yeah. So these kind of these are similar, right? These are...
Yeah, those one's just taller than the other.
Look under this one. You'd run up to it. You'd look at this. You'd get your block coordinate.
Yep.
Yeah. All
right. Number 6 is weird.
Yeah.
So this is like a rib cage, but like it has 3 sides to it.
So there's gonna be names for these, like with ruined portals. Davy's names for the ruined portals. We're gonna have to have a name for this one block here. And we're not calling any of them Big Bertha.
Okay, but can we call this one Medium Bertha?
Pog U was pretty bad as well. There's some pretty bad names, I'm gonna lie. We're gonna have to have some community input on the official names of the anatomy, maybe we could.
Okay, but besides like the TF, the weird rib we're looking at right now, and the 2 tall ones that stick out too, if you just follow the rule of tallest rib and it's like the symmetry on the rib cages knowing it's the front left, you'll always get it. And you don't have to memorize these 4 then.
This stuff's crazy. People are gonna hate this. I'll tell you what.
Get good.
Yeah. What's another one you want to show me? I guess they're all, the rest of them are fine, or?
Yeah, you should probably like look at
just
them all.
Go through them all.
Get up on the nether roof maybe so you have room.
Yeah, true.
And someone should put my little table on
It's in resources public at this point.
Yeah, but it should be on like a little circle because the pattern is obvious when you graph it.
Got it. Someone get on that and put it in resources public.
like maybe like draw it as like a clock with 16 sections. I don't know.
I'm so nervous about counting right now. Luckily I'm doing pretty well so far. Counting to 6. That's pretty annoying.
Oh shit, yeah, that one. That one's weird too. I forgot about that one. It's not the biggest and it doesn't follow the smaller to biggest rules. You gotta remember that one.
Yeah.
And it's not even like under a fossil, it's like next to the fossil.
Right. Oh, that'll be annoying, yeah.
Because this one's 2 wide at the top, so you can know it's under the tip, whereas this one's 1 wide at the top.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's definitely like understandable, but it'll...
One you have to watch out for is, if you go back to your start there, number 3. So it looks like a 2 wide, but it has that
Right.
little bit sticking off of
Oh,
it.
it's crazy, yeah. Does that actually mess with it as well? It does. Far out. Dude, I swear to God, if we think of all the things, like if we think of bastions and how balanced they are, like there's like a certain amount of risk to them. You can almost think that they designed this as a speed game, you know? In some of these like cases where it's like, why would they make these so similar and have such a major implication on divine travel? Like, was that what number am I up to? God damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, very good. Hmm. Not too bad. Yeah. So
Yeah,
2
that one's also the
means...
tallest.
Oh, okay.
Then this one's perfectly symmetrical, so you have to remember the larger side of the rib.
This is the Aether portal. You have to light all of them with blue fire to get to the stronghold. Oh man. Alright. Yeah, a lot of them are pretty easy. What does it go up to? Was that it? 12?
14.
14.
There's 14 of them. These last two are really easy, though. It's just the biggest one.
Yeah. That does look really similar to some of the other ones. Yeah, definitely very achievable. It's lucky that there's none of them that are like coin flip, you know.
The same. Yeah.
And anyway, I also want to point out that like I'm really pleased that we have something that's this good already. But I
Right.
think now that you have more people who are going to be looking at stuff like this, there's very clearly other stuff which gives info on the stronghold. Like just obviously we've been memeing about it for like 2 months now. I cannot by myself read the entire code base. There's probably something else. Although I found that this would be a thing by looking at all the places where a certain random number generator was called. So maybe that does count as reading a good deal of it.
Yeah, just like Control F, like next, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've done that, but I gave up after about 1,000, and I might have missed some. Just read faster. There's one thing I do well, it's read.
Just speed run the code base.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah. My first 5 blinds with this were crazy, by the way. I got like 237 and 363 and 254 and then a 437 and a 500, but those are terrible. Come on.
Do we want to show people how to install the data pack thing to just show you the origins on all of them?
We can. You can put it in your video if you want, because I'm going to be shilling your video should you make one.
Okay.
Yeah, I also should make one. Whoops. And
Just
then
like coordinate, publish in the same day, link each other's videos.
you don't know who I am.
Yeah, it's going to take Matthew probably around 6 months, so...
That's fair, okay.
Well, to be fair, we still haven't got the lava dowsing video, so...
Yeah, I need to explain lava dousing. It's dude, I did.
Something else that I thought of early into our kind of divine travel, you know, brainstorming is we can use more than just one thing. We don't need to use only
Yeah.
a fossil. We can get more accurate
If we have-
if we use more things in the same
Also,
order.
if we have several things, then like one of them's bound to be there.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Like,
if
how
we
do
get
you-
no,
like,
no, 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 stop. That's not true. The entire point here is that these things are all colliding and using the same random number generator.
but don't they have
um,
different additions to the seed and that kind of thing?
Kind of, but if those end up making a difference, it's going to suck,
Right.
if that makes sense.
so the issue with
Uh,
like using multiple at the same time is you're gonna need like giant tables that have like 5-dimensional lists of like this thing colliding with this thing, and this thing, and this thing.
But then
You
we
know?
get to blind to the stronghold staircase. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yet buried treasure, 2 buried treasure in the right spots can already probably nail the stronghold angle at least this accurate, but that's another problem.
I think trading gold for pearls is faster. We should just get lucky. Hypermodern's gone too far.
Yeah, because but yeah, I enjoy learning archaeology, I guess.
It's great that the first divination thing uses bones, because that's what like actual divination uses as well, right?
I thought they used
Bones in a
tea.
bowl or something. Tea. There's a
Tea
variety.
leaves, how bones crack in a bowl, other things.
It's great lore that they've great developers. We thought it was an indie studio, but they've planned this all out in advance.
But yeah, I mean, I think that this is a very good first start. I don't think it's the end of this sort of stuff, but like enjoy having to learn to recognize it like, oh, the desert temple's facing north or whatever. I actually think that desert temples at 0-0 will probably do something similar. But they're terrible. They would like tell you a quadrant not to blind to, but that's about it.
Yeah, that was our first. That was your
Yeah,
first
that's why I'm here.
finding. Is before we had well, we'd been thinking about divine travel for months, and then the first catch was ruined portals tell you not where to go.
Well, the very first catch was pumpkins. Pumpkins I have
Oh.
known worked to some capacity a long
Yeah.
time. But then what happened is I mentioned that I thought that monument rotations might also give info. And you seemed very excited by what I had initially dismissed as not being a lot of info. So I decided, okay, I'll look into it for him. And I couldn't figure out where this random number generator that was doing the monument orientation was seated. So I went ahead and I traced like where it was from and everywhere it was called. And I clicked on everywhere it's called. I saw, oh wow, this is called a lot in the ruined portals. So I looked at the ruined portal calls and like, oh my god, why did I never think about this in this context before? I knew these calls were here. I'm like, okay, so ruined portals at 0-0 are really funny. And then I decided to, after, I tweeted about it because haha, funny joke, 1 in 20, 1 in 12,000 chance of being able to blind into the stronghold because of the portal you saw. And then I thought, and then, made the tweet, went back to my IDE, and I kept on scrolling like nether fossils. And then I just immediately knew that nether fossils would be the best thing by far, which is fantastic. And yeah, and they just give coordinates. And it's a miracle that they're a structure block structure. I thought that they would be grown out like the like some other structures. But when I clicked into the code and saw there were structure blocks, I just, oh my god.
Mojang's really like structure blocks for the new things they're adding.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? This is a much better way to do things than
Yeah.
say the Stronghold code.
They're doing structures in jigsaws now. I wish jigsaws weren't broken to hell in 1.16.1, but like, you know,
I intended to go to bed 4.5 hours ago. I've been carried by. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because I'm still thinking about this.
Do you feel good at least? You finally made leaps and bounds on Divine Travel.
It feels nice.
Is it worth the
No.
the feeling of tomorrow?
Any other like questions, things you want to know?
All ready for the future. You say this is probably going to be the most promising and the best.
There's a few ways that Mojang could mess up in 1.17 and add something that's like way, way, way better. But like, I mean, obviously we don't want that because we like 1.16.1. But I think it's almost certain that in the future version they will mess up and it will become much better. There's some code determining stripes and mesas that I don't understand. But that maybe.
That's a good one. I love
Like
the
maybe
Sega
if you
Dad.
built maybe if you like built a lookup table of every single possible stripe and mesa combination, you could read off stronghold angles from that.
We can get
But,
frustrated at the names of
Yeah.
terracotta and how cyan
Yeah,
does not look like cyan terracotta.
Yeah. And like I don't see a way back through it. It's like a certain noise generator that's not super mathematically nice for me to play with. Like this was trivial. Like the moment that I saw that these calls existed, I knew that this would work. The Mesa thing, I don't think will work. I don't see a way through it. Again, yeah. So what I forgot about when I first like did a survey of where I thought this sort of divine travel stuff could exist, I forgot about all this weird stuff that structures do, like rotate themselves and whatnot. In my head, like structures were sort of like the position of the structure and that's it, because that's how I so frequently deal with them. So I maybe need to dig in more to that. But this is the best thing that came out of today's digging. And then, yeah, there's always plants and stuff, which has the downside of sometimes being wrong, but has the upside of, well, you see a lot of plants. And it can potentially be very, very, very good. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, yeah. Caves and ravines in 0-0 predict the stronghold. So if you've got a cave or ravine starting in the 0-0 chunk, that predicts the stronghold.
That's really achievable.
Yeah, so if you have a ravine start in 0-0, it will nail the stronghold even more accurate than this. If you have a cave start in 0-0, it'll kind of be shit. But it will I want to say you can probably expect blinds less than 1,000 pretty reliably if it's just a cave start. Ravine starts are cracked though.
Because it's a 1 in... what's the chance of ravine? 1 in 13, 1 in 17?
1 in 50. 50.
50?
50. 50.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't love it. But yeah, if you've got a cave start or a ravine start at 0-0, that will do it.
The thing is,
something
that can be front loaded extremely hard. We can reset for 0-0 ravines. I mean, we're not going to, but what kind of accuracy do you think that'd have?
You'd expect. So, what you'd do is you'd really narrow the angle. You wouldn't really narrow. You wouldn't really shorten the distance much more. You'd stop like it would start to be the point where the distance really mattered. But your angle would never be off. Basically, you'd be accurate within 1/100th of the circle if you had a ravine at 0-0. Um, and so if you're banking on high roll, you'd be within 100 or something. I don't know. It would be very, very, very good, you know. But like the target area would become sort of a long strip, you know. Um,
I had something that I was going to talk about, but I've completely forgotten.
and I'm only like 50% sure of that ravine stuff. I'm not. I haven't looked at the ravine code since the lava dousing stuff, so, but I'm reasonably sure. Oh yeah. And yeah, a very embarrassing reason why I haven't like talked too much about this is that I find it very difficult to translate the angles into actual coordinates. This is the first time where I bothered like looking at how Mojang does it because I used to do it wrong. So I always felt uncomfortable trying to do it myself. Um, um, uh, you should blind roughly where the fossil if you saw as fossil at 0x if you have a ravine at 0-0. In fact, so let me give you the coords for ravines at 0-0s. Ravines and caves at 0-0. Yeah, quite honestly, for a ravine at 0-0, like just blind on the positive x-axis or that plus 120 degrees. Right? So do you follow?
Yeah. It's hard to find a seed for that, isn't it? I think Professor Ninja's done that recently, ravine seed finding, but
I mean, he's after like all sorts of wacky ravines. I was working that through with him.
The Mine Chunk guys are really doing a lot with ravines right now, so you maybe ask them.
Yeah, but all you guys want is a fucking ravine at 0-0. That's trivial.
We need 1,000 seeds to practice on, okay?
Well, I mean, if I can get one, I can get 1,000. Let's see. Coding on stream 440. God. Okay, and this is going off of my memory of how this code works. If this doesn't work at all, then I need to look at the code again. So I think that should do it.
Just checking someone else's seed. Oh wow, you even
cheater.
spawn in 0, 0. And there we go. God, I haven't memorized them. It's this one though. It's gotta be this
Yep,
one.
it's that one.
I'm in the
They're-
right
they're-
chunk. So 14. This is Shao Guy's seed. I don't know what it was, but Shao Guy apparently had this seed. Fight a fortress. We've got a high Z. What was the number again? 14, thank you. 14, we've got a high Z. We'll go to 17,255. Good enough.
Oh, that's so funny.
Actually, we'll push it to...
None of the seeds less than 5,000-ish have a ravine at 0, 0 because of this problem.
So these are high roll coordinates. We got 210. 210 at high roll coordinates.
I also think that there's some stuff like water lakes and lava lakes being 0 at 0, 0. But that's all the plants and stuff are maybe they're maybe misleading or maybe not so good compared to this stuff. Because this is 100%, right?
And how many... Aren't they somewhat random? Or extremely random? You wouldn't be able to know where they start or anything.
Yeah, they tend to suck.
Yeah, it's only fossils at 0, 0. It'll only ever be anything at 0, 0 because of a quirk.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to...
Yep. Yeah, see you later, dude. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'm
all
gonna
your
need
work.
to take a look at ravine code later. But yeah, this is a nice start, I think. So, have fun with this, I guess.
Have fun making your video. I'm sure I'll see it in my subscription box very soon.
I don't mind making a lazy video. I have like a test and some homework to do tomorrow, but like in like 30 hours you can ping me and then I'll throw together some crap and I'll put up like essentially this live stream on my channel. Because yeah, no sense putting effort into this.
Sounds
All right,
good.
see ya.
See you, dude. Yeah, your video shouldn't take too long to make.
Yeah, it's a matter of me just getting motivation to make it. But like,
Yeah,
it'll be up in a day or two probably.
I might wait on this video going up then until you've put yours up. So
Okay.
that I can have it in the description and everything.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
Far out. That's it's a big jump. Whoops. Holy shit. Sorry, I dropped out completely. I was just trying to hide the screen.
Yeah, but like this is huge.
It's
It makes it a
it's
lot
kind
more
of
seeds
niche.
viable.
Like it's pretty niche right now, and it will be niche. But if you hit the seed, you know, it's
Yeah.
like you know, if off spawn you see a fast gen, if off spawn you see a 0/0 fossil, you're like, oh shit.
Just go for it, and like that gives you a good chunk of time off your blind. You know, it's gonna make it a lot easier to get lower numbers, but I don't know how useful it is for getting world record numbers. Just because like you're gonna be going for the blind anyways, where you are for world record.
Yeah, it might
Like
cost
it
10 seconds or something on a couple pearls being thrown. I think that's the main
Yeah.
thing, is having to go to strange coordinates is kind of difficult. But
it'll
it's
let you
obviously
reset a
worth
lot
it.
faster. Yeah, you can also reset faster if you know, like, hey, it's a good 200 away. If you don't want to go for it, if you're already like pushing it on the time.
Well, even then, being so
Yeah, I guess.
you know, confident on the angle, you could just send the what was it? What did he say it was? 112? So 1408, 112. I can't remember what that was. But basically, we'd probably be able to have this run is dead. I'm going to try and end up in the stronghold with this blind. If it doesn't send me there, I'll log out.
Yeah. And like at any given time, you're only going to be like about like 60 degrees at most away from the stronghold. Right?
60 degrees, really?
Because they're going to be about 120 apart, and like the furthest you can get from either of those 120s is 60. Because
Right.
when you start getting further from one, you start getting closer to the other.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
We're going to have so many reference sheets and everything, and it's going to be just essential. Either you've got a book with 10 pages or 100 pages of all these different things to refer to, or you're just going to have a second monitor. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you'll need to have blind travel coordinates up for when you don't get this. You're going to have the table up for when you do get this. You're going to have to remember all of the fossils. It's going to take a while before people really pick it up. But it's hilarious. I really do expect a good run within a week with this, for sure. Because it's like part of the
Well, it's
RNG of
easy
this
to
game
use.
is that getting the good blind is what takes the longest, because you have to reset 20 times before you get a good blind.
And it's late game resets. It's not like I can just reset 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
I have to play through a good 20 runs, all taking like 50 tries to get each.
Crazy. That ravine thing sounds really promising to me.
Yeah. Do we know how to find the exact start coordinate of the ravine?
No.
Okay.
Supercoda knows something about it, but we don't know ravines like we know caves. For lava dowsing, because we want to know where a ravine starts so we can lava douse there, because ravines are just dressed up caves.
Yeah.
Vaticus, we've been talking about it for like an hour or something. It can't really be TLDR'd. What's the TLDR? There's bones in Soul Sand Valleys. If they're there, Jojo wanna run with it? Doubt. How? There's no way to run with it. Javated. Leaked. And Sa? Oh, he said that he's... Where? Dude, I'm getting debated all around. Ah, divine travel. 440. I spawn next to a bridge. Fossil at 00. Fortress 100 blocks away. No way.
Oh my god. There we go. We got the runner ready.
Oh my.
It's in a week, few hours.
It's been like an hour, man.
Okay, so like what? He's gonna like blind at like 10 minutes, 11 minutes right into the stronghold here.
Is he gonna go for high roll coordinates or?
I hope he does.
Fortress 100 blocks away. Pausing to calculate. He's not calculating anything. He's looking at a sheet and he's talking on Discord. That's not calculating. That's PB pace for JoJo. JoJo PB'd yesterday with a third ring looting 3 run. This almost can top that. Third ring looting 3 is pretty cool and everything. But having tech 2 hours after it comes out the oven, using bones. This is crazy, huh? Yeah, so Vaticus, there's fossils. Sometimes there'll be a fossil at 00. Mostly there won't be. Like 1 in 15 or 1 in 20 worlds or something will have a fossil at 00. There's chunk coordinates, which are the important ones, and then we need to know what the x of the fossil is, and then we convert the x of the fossil at 00, or the chunk 00. And then we have a pretty good chance of knowing the angle and distance of the stronghold. Or no, the distance isn't true, just the angle, right? Or
Yeah, it's just the angle.
just the angle, yeah.
It's 17 chance for a valley, and it's guaranteed as long as it doesn't get overwritten by anything, or it can find a place to spawn. So if it's like a Soul Sand Valley, but it's completely lava, it's not going to spawn it. Or if like a Bastion spawns there, it's not going to spawn it.
Did you say it's guaranteed there as long as it? Oh, right, because
As long as nothing else fucks it up.
yeah, because it's a structure, right? It's fossil regions. Very pog. It'll affect runs. I think it's really niche, but a lot of runs are really niche. That's what RSG is. Not every run is the same. And sometimes you'll just roll a world that has this. How did you get that? What was it? 17% for Valley?
Someone did some calculations earlier in Divine Travel.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I was looking for
Yeah.
that table a while ago. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Supercoda. So
Yeah.
yeah, because this doesn't put other things as well. Crazy. All right, I don't think I'm gonna get any more world records in this stream. God, it's been what, 2 hours I think of this. It's crazy. Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah, no problem.
Looking forward to your video.
Have fun. Yeah, have fun with whatever else you're doing tonight.
Yeah, I think I actually have to upload this, honestly, because everyone's going to be talking about it for the next 48 hours anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll put your YouTube in the description anyway, in the meantime.
Yeah.
All right. See you
Alright.
later.
Well, see ya.
That was Closet Witch. Yeah, dude. Fucking 4 videos in one day. I'm gonna be a dedicated fucking YouTuber, dude. Which one? I guess the Divine Travel has to go up first. I have to react to world record, real or fake. Editor, dude. I'm just uploading the whole VOD, and I'm just gonna timestamp where the interesting parts of the VOD was. People can just watch a 4-hour VOD.